All right. So what's the wildest thing you've done for a bet?
I don't know. What have you bet me over the years? Because it was definitely come from you. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nothing sticking out. Super crazy.
My best one, which I saw online and copied from somewhere, was betting Marcus that he would race me, and specifically wording it that I bet you $100 that you will race me. Not that I'm going to win, but that you will race me. And so he runs and sprints off, and then I'm like, running, and I'm like, I win. And he's like, what? And then, but then he refused to pay. So.
He's always welshing on his bets, that fella.
Yeah, basically. Well, a woman removed her knickers and sat on a guy's face for a 100-pound bet in a packed beer garden.
Told them not to put out this story, but all right.
So it was in a music venue. Allegedly, it shot it at a music venue in Chinneries in Southend, Essex, as the sun beat down on a beer garden beside a busy road. Several blokes cheer on the woman as she begins to squat, with one yelling, 100 quid, go, go, go.
I mean, you know, that's one way to spend a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon.
Early morning?
Yeah, you know. So she got her £100 after, and she was also happy with the occasion, I presume.
Well, yeah, apparently according to this. Now, the weirdest thing in this story is that it says, while sex acts are not specifically, public sex acts are not specifically illegal, according to the Sexual Offences Act in 2003, indecent exposure could be recognized as a sexual crime. So it's not illegal to have sex in public, but indecent exposure is. So if you have sex, but people can't see it.
As long as you're covered up somehow, your bits aren't out on display. All right, sweet.
Yeah, and so in the video, it first appeared as if the woman was stopped because the police came. But it has actually been, the police came out and said that they weren't aware of it and there was no crime, and they were aware of the video, but not of it. They didn't actually attend at the time. All
right. Some of them saying they wish they had, because they would have chipped in to see what you do for 200.
Yeah. It would have been epic if it was like, oh, here come the police, and then it just is like a stripper in a police outfit.
Yeah. That would have been cool, yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, Britain's maddest boozer announces death of horrible bastard pub cat Hitler. Frederick Albert Hitler had an army of fans and met a host of famous pub visitors during his time at the Baltimore Arms on Exmoor, even though his owner says he was a horrible little bastard.
Yeah, well, you give him that name. What do you expect?
And the cat was hit by a car. He was the pub cat at the Baltimore Arms in Yard Down near Brayford, Devon, which is one of the most isolated boozers in the country.
Oh, okay. There you go. It's isolated, but there was a car that this sounds like somebody did this on purpose. There's no cars around.
Well, the Prime Minister's sister even sent her condolences.
Oh,
so maybe there was a love triangle here. And I don't want to start any rumors, but I'm just going to come out and say that I may have heard someone say that Boris Johnson did this.
I'm going to back you up on that, I think. So,
but you may have also heard.
I just heard it. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. He's in even more trouble then in that case. So
yeah,
not a good week for Boris.
Killing Hitler, the cat. That's too far.
It is.
So yeah, R.I.P. I was nearly going to say R.I.P. Hitler, but then it could probably be taken out of it.
You just did. It's going to be clipped up and put all over the place.
Obviously, the cat, not the.
It's too late now. It's like completely separate. So let's just get that soundbite out of there. We put it up somewhere.
Well, how far is too far when cheating? What crosses the line when someone cheats?
I mean, there's a lot to be said for anything. That's considered cheating is too far. But it depends on the circumstance.
What acts? Would smelling another woman's farts be cheating?
I mean, it depends on the scenario. Either like if it's on the bus, you can't help it. if it's
no, in a committed relationship, you should avoid it still somehow.
Sorry, I can't sit beside you. I'm in a committed relationship. You might fart. So I don't know. I'm gonna play the good person card and be like, anything that is cheating is too far. There you go.
Yeah, but what is that?
Everything. Just like, I know, talking to someone.
Talking to someone. You spoke to my grandmother. You cheated on me with my grandmother.
Yeah, it was a good time. Anything where you have the intent to have sexual intercourse with somebody. That's
would that include teabagging them?
I mean, it depends. Is your partner against teabagging?
Well, it depends on what you define as teabagging too, because this article is, my ex stole tea bags from mine to drink with other women after he bonked her.
Wait a minute. I feel like this was a misleading conversation we had here.
Well, you can have sex with another woman, but you better not be.
But don't drink my tea.
Exactly.
I mean, sorry, like if you're going over to someone's house or you're bringing someone to your house to have an illicit affair with them, go and buy some fucking tea bags.
Yeah.
Go borrow them. I mean, you're getting yourself in that scenario. You got to buy your own tea bags. So surely there's a shop somewhere nearby. So, if there's two women who are interested in you, there is a shop that sells tea bags.
Well, yeah, Twitter account Al Haggerty X revealed, if anyone's having a bad day, just remember that the guy I was seeing was leaving mine with tea bags from my house and taking them down to another girl's house to have a cuppa after he shagged her.
So like this dude is like, all right, that's the sex over. Let's get the tea on. That's the most... That's what I've been waiting for. I brought my own tea bags.
At least he didn't bring some sugar. I mean, that would have just... or a coffee.
Or, could have brought some hot chocolate or something.
So
that would have been kind of...
Don't you dare clean up with my tissues.
And where's the mustard? What are you doing? Down her place, isn't it?
I got those ketchup packets from McDonald's yesterday. They are mine.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable question. Like, why are you bringing my tea and condiments to your other girlfriend's house?
I mean, go have sex with them. Just give me my tea.
Yeah, I paid for that tea. Don't be fucking drinking my tea after you've had sex with people.
With inflation these days, I mean, yeah. You can't have people stealing tea. Well, actually, what's even crazier is how would you even notice? Because most people have, when you buy tea, usually it's like 50 tea bags. Are you going to go and count every tea bag and go, where the hell is my 48th tea bag?
Yeah, there's 2 tea bags missing here. Did you go down to her house, have sex with her, and then make a cup of tea afterwards?
How did you know?
that's my tea. Wow. Yeah, that's a very good point. How would you realize?
It's like if you took some coffee out of a large thing of coffee and then said, well, there's 2 tablespoons of coffee missing from my coffee.
Yeah. Wow.
Look, if you're going to swing, do it ethically. Buy tea bags on the way. And then tea bag with the tea bags and your bowls.
Obviously.
Yes, obviously. That's what we condone on this podcast. Ethical tea bagging.
If any tea companies want to sponsor us, get your tea bags prominently featured on this podcast.
Yeah, and you know how they have names and whatever? Well, This will be the swinging tea bag.
The swinging tea bag
that it is okay to bring to another partner and steal from your current partner.
Yeah, could work.
Yeah. Well, then how long into a marriage do you think you should know who a person is?
15, 16 years.
15, 16 years.
Yeah. I mean, try and spend as little time as possible with them so you don't find out about them. But then, because
that's the key to a good marriage is separation.
They might be the worst fucking person you've ever met, but maybe they're really good.
No. The key to a good marriage is they will be the worst person you ever met. So therefore, don't spend too much time with them.
It's a good philosophy, I think. There,
yes.
just pick someone who's really good looking, but a dickhead. Just don't spend any time with them.
Yeah. Come over with a bag of tea, and that's about it. Well, this woman discovered that her husband was actually a female con artist 10 months into their marriage.
I feel like there should have been a way to find that out before they got married.
Possibly on the wedding night.
Yeah.
So, the 22-year-old woman who has only been identified by her initials NA. Hopefully she's in narcotics. Well, this is very odd. I already call some elements it's in the question when her initials are NA and then her partner is their initials AA. So Narcotics Anonymous married Alcoholics Anonymous.
I think I know these people.
But they appeared before the Jambi District Court in Indonesia.
Oh.
The victim claimed that she matched with the scammer on a dating app in May 2021. The con artist, which gives you essentially, even if they got married right away and this all happened right away, that means that they could have only been dating for 2 months or 3 months at most before getting married. So that's probably red flag number one.
Red flag number one for sure.
Con artists said they were a man who was a US trained surgeon and a coal businessman. Now that's probably red flag number 2 because usually you don't become a surgeon and a coal businessman. Like usually you're one or the other.
True.
You don't really see many businessmen down in the mines who are also surgeons.
It's true.
I'm not saying you couldn't, but I'm saying that realistically, people who are surgeons are pretty dedicated because you have to spend a heap of time studying. People that are going to start a coal business usually would be pretty dedicated to it too.
You know, Monday to Wednesday, I'm a awesome surgeon. And Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, because I work extra hard. So I'm all about the coal business. So
I do open heart surgery on a Monday. Tuesday, I'm down the mines. Wednesday, I got to make sure I wash my hands because got to finish up that open heart surgery. Wouldn't want any of that coal residue getting on a
Thursdays, teabagging strangers. You know, it's got a full week.
Well, yeah. So 3 months after they got married, in a marriage that's recognized by religion but not by the state.
Oh.
They were unable to have a state-sanctioned wedding as the groom was unable to present the civil documents required. Usually, red flag number 3.
You would think so.
The newlyweds lived in the victim's parents' house for several months. During this time, her parents became suspicious that AA kept asking for money and couldn't provide any proof of his impressive credentials. Red flag number 4, usually surgeons have a lot of money. Coal businessmen have a lot of money.
Usually.
People who are good at both would have a shitload of money.
Yeah, people who are good at both would have money. That would be a thing they would have. So, yeah.
I'm also a Hollywood actor and a hairstylist as well, just for the fun of it. However, the swindler's family members and friends always backed his career claims. Usually, someone who's scamming you is not going to introduce you to someone who's going to say, actually, he doesn't work as a coal miner and a surgeon. And if you're living in the same house as someone, you would usually know if they were a surgeon or not. Like there would be some telltale signs if someone was working as a surgeon.
I also feel like we have an issue here is like if you're living with somebody and they're your husband or your wife, you might notice if they have a penis. So I'm just saying.
Well, hopefully we get it further into this and they somehow explain how that. So to avoid further questioning, the trickster took their bride away from her family. While there, she was then confined to the house for several months and prohibited from interacting with anyone else. Her husband also controlled their finances. In April, NA's concerned mother contacted the police who tracked down the pair. During the police interrogation, AA was revealed to be a woman whose real name bears the initials EY.
Oh.
During the 10 months, the family claimed that they were scammed of 300 million IDR, the equivalent of 15,000 pounds. After being quizzed about this on social media about their sex life, the victim said her husband would always turn off the lights and blindfold her during sex.
Okay.
Probably red flag number 5.
I mean, you question it. You would question it. You're like, can we just leave the lights on this one time?
Can I see your penis for once? Like we are married.
Can I touch it? Like just without, just right now on the couch.
Yeah, wouldn't there be some level of touching at some point?
I would assume.
10 months into a marriage, you would think that. Also, if you're in a marriage, this is another life lesson. If you're in a marriage where you have had to have sex with the lights off and be blindfolded every single time, perhaps in the first 3 months, you should take the initiative to discover things.
Yeah. I think so. And I think that's actually good advice.
That's life-altering advice there. I don't want to say I'm basically the next Tony Robbins, but that's kind of it.
I mean, kind of are though. So
yeah, I'll accept it. To the police, the con artist said that she used her hands to pleasure her wife, but the victim said she was certain that EY used penetrative sexual devices during their lovemaking.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could tell the difference between devices and non-devices. I just think there's a possibility. But anyway, yeah, it's still, as you say, like the best thing would have been try and get something going outside the bedroom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or like you would see them getting changed and whatever. Like if you're married, surely you sleep in the same bed. You can see their closet and see what's in there. You see them. Even if you are just in the same place all the time, you would have an idea. You would, I just feel like there's a way you're going to be able to like, rub up against someone you're married to perhaps, or be close to them or touch them in places. I feel like that happens. I think under normal circumstances, you're not allowed to just walk in on someone going to the toilet. But 5 months into a marriage where you've only ever had sex with the lights on and blindfolded, I think it's okay to walk in on someone going to the toilet. It was the
butt there that got me. I was like, you're not allowed to, but... Oh, man. It's a good point, though.
I mean, if you're in a marriage, I feel like that's not overstepping the line.
I mean, I feel like no matter who you are, if you are married to someone, the first thing you should do is check for a penis.
Okay, I thought you were going to say walking on them going to the toilet.
I mean, that should come way before the marriage, but you got to check for a penis. Like marriage day, be like, let me see your dick. If they're like, okay, you're like, oh, fuck, you got a dick. Or maybe you're into that. I don't know. That's
and
cool.
Then you're like, oh, yay.
Now let me just get the measuring tape.
While you're taking a shit.
Well, I mean, not everyone's into that, but some people.
Well, speaking of odd sex stuff, so you know how tennis players like to make moaning sounds like they're having sex? Mm-hmm. Well, police had to speak to tennis ace Dominic Thiem when neighbours thought he was shooting porn.
100% he was. And he was like, no, I was just playing tennis.
So he's been training in the Austrian village, which I could not even attempt to pronounce. But the neighbors called the police on the world number 3, a former world number 3, where he'd been staying. Austrian media report that neighbors in question had grown weary of hearing raucous moaning from his training complex, which went on for more than an hour. And it is claimed they believed a porn film was actually being recorded there. That's one epic porno if you're recording every day for hours at a time.
Everyone knows there is absolutely no reason for a porn film to be longer than like 12 and a half minutes. So I don't know why it would be an hour long each time, but that is where I record all my porn films. So yeah, I'm not surprised they call the guards or the cops. They call them on me too. So
and you're arrested, taken away because you actually were.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
look,
it's a business.
I think if you learn anything from this, if you're filming a porn film, bring a tennis racket and a ball, and then you can always say,
just play tennis.
Just play tennis in this 1-bedroom hotel.
It's just, he really shouldn't have been hitting the ball and be like, yeah, take it. You like that one?
Harder.
Yeah, I'm just working on a new technique for my tennis. Awesome. All right, well.
I've been married for 10 months and I had to play some tennis. Get out some stress and stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, the Hugh Hefner of sex dolls loves having synthetic girlfriends as they accept him.
How many synthetic girlfriends does he have?
A lot, obviously.
Imagine being called the Hugh Hefner of anything. Hey, I'm Dave. I'm the Hugh Hefner of teabagging. Wow.
Yeah, so he's claimed that the secret to his happiness is the acceptance of his horde of synthetic girlfriends.
Horde of synthetic girlfriends. Wow. Okay.
He believes that some people set their hopes too high for partners, which is one of the reasons why he gave up on human companionship because of its complications. Dolls help bring balance to my life, but there is no balance without God first. My true fulfillment comes from him first. Half of the things she was seeking in a human or any companion would be found in God. Some needs can't be met by man. They are unrealistic, and luckily my companion dolls don't require me to try and fulfill unrealistic explanations.
Okay.
The bloke who lives with 4 sex dolls, with the goal of acquiring more to become the Hugh Hefner of sex dolls, claims that he speaks to God every day to fill his soul. He claims he's always happy because of his relationship with God and how he accepted he feels by his girls, because human companionship can be complicated and messy. You can't expect your companion to be responsible for your soul growing, and they've literally written basically the same thing 7 times, reworded.
Journalism of the highest degree right there.
Yeah. Now, this peaked journalism because, obviously they couldn't fill the whole story, so they just rewrote his companionship and God.
What I think about straight away is like, so he's a religious person. If he has a religious family, or like, you know, brothers, sisters, whoever, and then when he passes away, they come into his house to find all this stuff, and they find all these sex dolls. Like,
well, who do they get left to? Like, will there be jealousy over who gets which sex doll?
Yeah. I mean, what if you get left one in the will and it's not the one you wanted?
Yeah. And why does this article repeat the same thing 7 times and then at the end say that Jay from Memphis, Tennessee, legally changed his surname to Hefner?
Jay Hefner.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
he hopes to grow his horde to 20 dolls and maybe test new ones and review them for content in future.
I think we need to take a trip to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Go meet Jay and be like, tell us all about
this is Memphis, Tennessee, but we can go to Nashville.
Memphis. I mean, we can go to Nashville and then hightail it to Memphis. Why not? I mean, either way, we're drinking lots of whiskey, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm sure he's a great character. He sounds like he's very religious and very into fucking silicone dolls. So, you know, what's not to like?
Yeah. I mean, he sounds like a great person.
Wonder, does he get the extra hairy ones we were talking about a couple of weeks ago?
I mean, if you're going to get 20, you need to go get them
the
all.
whole spectrum.
Yeah.
Get one of each kind, please.
Yes. Now, this next story is a man who is not so happy about his sex life to be bragging about it. Man with small penis strips for naked bike ride, but is taunted by Hindu group.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he he's finally getting over his insecurities. So he's completed a London naked bike ride. He didn't reveal his surname. He says, now I'm more than confident about my body. I've realized that size isn't important. I've also gained more confidence out of the bedroom, and I think the bike ride was a way of testing it. Some people do the ride without being fully nude, so I knew I could back out a bit on the day.
I mean, to be honest, it's not that impressive. He was able to ride a bike. There's kids who can do that. So that's good for him. He should be confident about that. But yeah, he's got some small dick energy coming out right there. Like, I'm impressed with myself. I could ride a bike. Awesome.
He says there was a hen party at one point, and a couple of the girls commented on the size of my penis and were laughing. But the bride-to-be very kindly told them not to be nasty. I thanked her, and me and my wife spoke with them for a few minutes.
The revelation that he has a wife is new. And she must have been there being like, now everyone's going to know.
After 10 months, I finally find out he has a penis. Well, I think we've also learned you don't have to actually bust in on them on the toilet. You can take them on a naked bike ride and then see if they have it. This is what we
got to do, like a naked bike ride.
Yeah. I think month 7 of marriage, if you haven't seen it
or confirmed that it's not there at that point, then you need confirmation somehow. So
yeah. Now, what is the most English thing that you can do in the middle of sex?
I as an Irish person, I am hesitant to comment on this, but I'm going to say, get dressed, make a cup of tea, something like that. I don't know.
Hit it on the head. My wife takes breaks in the middle of sex to drink tea. It kills the moment for me. I feel like you're not doing it for her, buddy. You might need some tips here. Think of her as a rocking horse, as Charles was told. Just, if it's good enough for the prince, it's good enough for you. Every day I take my wife a cup of tea in bed. She loves this ritual and I like performing it. However, we sometimes make love in the mornings after I've brought the tea, and she pauses to finish her cup before it gets cold. At least she's got her priorities right.
Yeah, yeah. This dude is a bad lay, and she's like, just drink some fucking tea.
Just get this over with, yeah.
Exactly. But no, look, here's a simple life advice coming at you right here, Mr. Sir. Let her finish her tea first, then get it on. Come on, man. Don't be like, here's the tea, take your knickers off. Just let her drink it first, then get it on. So yeah, then she won't stop. But
if she doesn't finish it, you drink it and then say, now get back to work.
Or like when you're getting into your rhythm, just accidentally knock the tea off the nightstand and be like, oh shit, well, we'll finish, we get another one later. But clearly you need to use an expression. You need to bone up on your skills here, because you're not doing it for her if you're stopping for some fucking tea. So
yeah, well, one person has commented, if they did reverse cowgirl, she could drink it without any risk of scolding to a man.
I don't know. I mean,
another person commented, the tea's not going to go cold in just 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
It'd be funny if this is the same guy, and then this from the earlier one, and he's been stealing it. No, the one who steals the tea.
Oh, yeah. Actually, they could be all three the same person.
Yeah. And that would be funny. Their previous marriage, they didn't have sex, so they never got to see the yeah.
All these stories are interconnected and we had no idea.
Yes. And then the next story is also interconnected with the small penis in that size does matter, apparently, for gaming, as boffins reveal the perfect hands for games like Call of Duty.
There you go.
So people have actually broken down the stats of the perfect hand measurement to play different games. And then they've mapped out finger span, tip to base of fingers, index finger to wrist, etc.
I feel like this didn't start as a video gaming thing. They're like, what's the best hand size for gaming? Yeah, that's why I'm studying this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Seems like a weird one, but hey, there you go.
Well, there's a related article that Chinese mind reading AI porn helmet will sound the alarm if men watch adult movies.
Why would you wear it then? Just like, yeah,
hey, honey, I'm going to watch porn, so I'll take off my helmet.
I mean, he's sitting there with the helmet on, jerking off. You're going to know what he's doing. What are you doing? Watching the football? No, that's worse. Just on the sports channel, dear. Don't worry.
But yeah, they actually created a study where 15 men volunteered to be part of the study, which involved looking at adult images while wearing the helmet.
Wait, there was a study where you could go to volunteer to take part. They would show you adult images and you would maybe receive some sort of payment for this. Is that, I mean, why did I not know about this? I mean,
well, you don't live in China for one.
Fucking moving.
Well, yeah.
Immigration. Why are you in China? Well, there's this study going on.
I'm what's known as a professional in the business, a professional masturbator. You do what now? I masturbate for a living. They've flown me in.
They need some expertise. That's all I'm allowed to say. But don't worry about it.
Top level government business. I'm creating helmets. Masturbation helmets.
Oh.
Well, also related, a new study says that ingesting semen can improve your IQ and boost your mood.
I know. I happened to write that study. Just send it out to some of the girls I know.
And force them to read it.
You're like, I did this study.
This study I conducted myself yesterday. My IQ improved 2 points after ingesting my own semen.
This review of girls at the end of porn videos who said, yes, I do like it and I feel smarter now, says it's a really good idea.
It says, this article says, most couples in the UK practice oral sex in one way, shape, or form when sharing intimate relations with their partners. It's pretty mind-blowing insight there.
Yeah, they should try it more than one way. You know, but there you go. You know.
According to research that was published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior, almost 70% of the 1,580 women surveyed said they enjoyed ingesting the sperm produced by their male partners.
Yeah, the others aren't getting enough pineapple in their diet. That's the key. That's the secret.
No, they're eating too much.
Pineapple.
Got to make it taste worse to...
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, if it's in a study and it's academic, there you go. I mean,
this article Whoa. It says a study they conducted in 2015 showed that one woman's IQ went up from 154 to 220 points after she regularly ingested semen for 13 months.
See, there's benefits to everything that we tell you is good for you.
It says Mensa, the world's largest and oldest IQ society, has suggested that ingesting semen can actually make you more intelligent. There's probably some guy at Mensa who's like,
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
But the article does end with, take caution. Before deciding to ingest semen, one should be warned that they may actually be allergic to it.
Oh?
Damn it. That's my excuse. I would, but I'm just allergic.
Yeah. It seems all the studies were only successful in women anyway. So
well, they only seem to have done the surveys in.
I know, but that's where I would do that research on as well. Be like, hey, taste this. You feel smarter.
Do this IQ test. Taste this. Now do an even easier IQ test, and I'm going to say that you got way better.
We're gonna turn off the lights, blindfold you. Just say what you don't see.
Or they get them to do the IQ test, give them the answers, then get them to do the IQ test again, and then say, "Wow, look at the improvement."
It's like, how old are you? You're 32. Okay, cool. Here's an IQ test for the 32-year-old. Now let's take the one for a 7-year-old and see how you score. Oh wow, you're a genius after drinking all that sperm.
It was only the sperm that helped, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
A guy has decided to get what tattooed from his mum?
Oh God, I don't know her name. Let's see. I don't.
That's a bit basic.
I mean, yeah. I'm afraid of any other answer I would give. So,
well, this guy got his mum's bite mark tattooed on his leg.
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty tame. I thought I was going to go somewhere else with that, but all right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
Cool.
he got her to bite his leg, and then the tattoo artist tattooed over the bite mark.
Okay, if that's your thing, then cool. Seems a bit weird, but all right. But as I said, it could have been much worse. People have some crazy ideas for tattoos and stuff. So.
Yeah. Now, we haven't covered much flight stuff for a little bit.
True.
But these people, these women found the worst seats on a plane. And can you guess where they are? The worst place to sit.
Are they by the toilets?
Potentially, but that's not the reason why these are the worst seats.
Oh, okay. That would be my best guess, so I don't know.
Well, these women got on the plane, and as they were walking, they kept walking, and then they discovered that the row that they were seated in on EasyJet, row 26, doesn't have seats. There's no chairs. It's just a row, and they had standing.
What? You can't be standing on a plane. Come on, EasyJet. What's going on? Oh God, that's I presume it was a mistake or something. But who knows?
No, they apparently it's happened on other ones. Someone else commented saying that this literally just happened to me with EasyJet on both flights. They told me to sit in someone else's seat, who then shouted at me.
I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't they? Get out of my fucking seat. What are you doing? I'm already sitting here.
So an EasyJet spokesperson told the Daily Star There has been a change in seat configuration on some aircraft this summer for operational reasons, and so we reallocated these customers new seats, and they flew as planned.
There you go. I mean, there's nothing worse than getting to your seat and one of two things: either there's some other fuckers in your seat, or there's no seat. That's worse. That's a little bit worse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Wow.
I've never been in that experience. I had that experience, but one time I got on a plane, there was a nun sitting in my seat, and I was like, Jeez. "Oh, I have to ask you to move." I know I've got a better seat than you, but you're gonna have to fucking move.
That seat is holy, and it is mine. Get your
like if it was like a 1 hour flight or something, I would have been like, "Fuck it, you sit in my nice seat." But no, she was like, I was like, "This is like an 8 hour flight. You're gonna have to move."
Which is all well and good until they have like some special holy meal, and then you get stuck with whatever they've requested.
Exactly. So I was like, no, I need that extra leg room. Sorry, nun lady. She looked like she was putting a vex on me, so it probably explains everything that's happened ever since. So,
yeah. Well, how long do you think is appropriate to celebrate a win?
Oh, like forever. She's never stopped. Be like, remember March 18th, 1922? We won that one. I wasn't alive, but we won that one.
Well, you could have gone 1945 or something like that. Yeah. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, so a rugby player won the championship on a Saturday, was seen still drinking in full kit 3 days later.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
So South African rugby player, they won the championship, and then 3 days later, the footage emerged of him drinking champagne in the shower while still in his match day kit.
All right, there's a lot of things wrong with that. 3 days later, fine, keep celebrating, but have a shower and change your clothes. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he said,
the only reason to keep it on is to keep reminding people you've won. Like, you can celebrate, but you're clearly just being like, hey, I was part of the team that won. And wearing it. I think that's a bit too much. But
Well, he's posted that I'm not going to stop until I either meet the mayor of Cape Town or the president of the country.
Or Jesus.
Any of them, and that'll do.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, someone just needs to, what would happen? He'd be like, I'm never going to meet any of those people. And then they're in the bar celebrating something completely different. He's like, fuck, stop.
I've been celebrating for 5 days, you loser.
I was celebrating before you even won the fucking thing. Because I was that confident. You had to go and play the fucking game. There you go.
Yeah. Well, finally, now what would be the appropriate reaction for a female teacher if students approached her because she was groping and kissing a pupil at a nightclub?
To be very careful about this because I know some teachers and such, so I'll be very careful what I say. It's the response here.
Well, it's a Scottish teacher, so it's not Irish.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to say, should pretty like, hey, that's not me.
Well, she told him to fuck off. A drunk teacher told students to fuck off as she groped and kissed a teenage male pupil in a nightclub after dancing in a sexualized manner, a hearing has been told. So she was 30 and married at the time.
Yeah.
She's alleged to have danced in a sexualized manner with a 6-year pupil at a local nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
She's accused of touching his bottom and groin and holding hands with him during the night in question.
Okay. So here's the question. Was he 18? Because if he's 18, it doesn't really matter.
Wow. But no, I think it's still illegal, depending on...
Is it? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't think you better not become a teacher. Pretty sure that there's like laws of like, if you're a teacher, you're like still like, I don't know. There's still some level of issue.
Well, let's just say now I know why I didn't get into teaching college. Questionnaire. Is this okay? Totally. No, Dave. No, it's not.
If you're in a nightclub and other students approach you because you're kissing an 18-year-old student, is it acceptable to tell them to fuck off? Of course.
No, you should say, fuck off, you little cunts. And just add a little bit more to it. Give one of them a kick in the arse as they leave.
Wow. She even allegedly said she would fight the bitch in reference to one of the female pupils.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's appropriate. I feel like, trying to get some at a nightclub, leave me alone. I mean, if all these kids were in the nightclub, though, they must have been over 18. So,
or they had fake IDs.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a weird one. But, I want to know why there was no teachers like that in my school. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but all these stories, I'm like, there's not one of my teachers who would have been up for that. Not one. Except maybe Mr. Jones. But he wasn't known as it to him. Name changed for obvious reasons.
They said if she was, they literally said, defending her as well, she wasn't in full control of her actions. She was more than tipsy, and I do not remember her making any advances. If she was sober, it would have never happened.
Yes, it would. I mean, come on, man. That's some bullshit. The drink made me do it. Come on.
It's a perfectly fine excuse.
We're all grown up. Sometimes we use it as an excuse, but we all know the truth. We wanted to do it, so we're fucking.
Your Honor, I would not have drunk drove if I wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have flown this plane drunk if I wasn't drunk.
Yeah. Wouldn't have fucked my student if I hadn't have wanted to fuck my student. I mean, if I wasn't drunk. So there you go. But again, teachers don't do that. I know teachers. They're all good people.
No, they're bad people because they don't do that.
It's true. It's true.
Oh my God, there's one story we have to cover quickly.
Okay.
Man's penis cut open after metal ball chain he inserted got stuck in solo sex session.
Literally just cringed and felt that a little bit. No, man, what are you doing? That's it's a horrible thought. Like, imagine, I know we've said own it when you go to the hospital with these things, but you've got to be like,
look them in the eye. Imagine the awkwardness of going in there with the, because I bet part of it has to be dangling out. So part of this metal ball chain, and you walk in there and they ask what's going on, and you're like, well,
hear me out. I was at home alone.
The details get wilder. So he fell asleep following a tiring masturbation session with a metal chain.
Wow.
He went to the hospital complaining of a sharp shooting pain surging through his genitals, which he described as feeling like electricity. They discovered he tried to achieve orgasm by dangerously putting jewelry in his urethra.
And
then it says after climaxing, he fell asleep and later woke up in unbearable agony.
Yeah. Well,
The sizable beads had been embedded inside his penis and he could not remove them for fear of injuring himself further. He also could not go to the toilet.
Dude, stop sticking things in your... You're not supposed to do that.
Well, I mean, if we learn anything here today...
Which we haven't.
Well, we've learned to walk in on your husband 5 months into marriage if you haven't seen his penis.
I suppose we learned one thing. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, that's going to haunt my nightmares. Thanks for that. Thanks for jamming that one in at the end there and using those words appropriately. Just jamming it in at the end. Oh, fuck. Well, Jesus. I mean, people...
A little bit of inspiration for tonight for you.
You know, I've got some stuff to do, but let's see if I can find some beads.
The doctor said to urge the public to study first before attempting to thrust foreign objects into the anus or urethra during sex.
Yeah, absolutely. And also don't fall asleep with stuff still there. That's my tip of the day for anybody considering this. Don't fall asleep.
Make sure you remove all metal chains from your penis before falling asleep.
Yeah.
So we did learn plenty.
We're an educational podcast now.
Yeah. There will be questions later, and so I hope
you might not like
notes.
the lessons, but they're lessons, and we even involve teachers now. So there you go.
On that note, may your metal chains be removed from your penis before you fall asleep.
Yeah, ditto. Thanks. All right, man. Well, I got to go because I got to go and buy some metal chains, but for a totally unrelated reason. But hopefully everything will be resolved and I'll see you again next week.
Yes. Until then.
Don't
fall asleep with a metal chain.
I'll try not to. Trust me, I'll try not to.
Set an alarm.
All right, man. Take it easy.